Let's go.
Let's go. Sine Lakshmi asks, when are you making your OTT debut?
OTT as in a show. We've done lots of auditions, Baba, but obviously none of them got passed. I'm so bored of doing them also. Actually, one was with some Saif Ali Khan thingy where he made me dress up as a rich, super rich man. The character, I shouldn't give it away. Whatever. But they don't get back to us, but they make us do these auditions. It would help, I think, if I go to where the auditions are. But now because of the cameras and phones and all, nobody wants to go to Adarsh Nagar and places like that.
Aram Nagar,
Adarsh Nagar, whatever the hell it's called. There's no end.
It's Haram Nagar.
It is. And also you have to understand, I get depressed thinking about it. And then if they reject you, then you really feel a sense of failure. So I think I try to avoid it. But the search will continue. Who knows? Maybe in your twilight years, you suddenly get an OTT show which is the greatest ever. There's always hope.
Second question. Ramesh asks,
My zip is open. Shut that.
IMD predictions on rains are irrelevant. Why do they even exist?
Well, they're not always completely inaccurate. Like when I was young, it was ridiculous. So now they did say, for example, Mumbai 9/10 and 9/10 the rains have happened. So I'm not saying they're completely wrong. But across India, there are lots of mistakes that are happening. So you can't just can't just rely on them. It's amazing how if you live in England or Europe, how they spend the whole day planning according to the weather forecast. What to wear, what to do, whether it's outdoors or indoors, all that. India is going that way, which means we're not a Garib country. The moment these are the questions and answers that are happening across society, it's not Garib country. Because this talk doesn't happen to Garib people. Garib people don't worry about the weather. They just get on and live because they have no time for anything else. So I'm sorry, you're no longer a poor country. So stop pretending to be a poor country, India. India, I'm talking to you. India, I'm the reverse of Arnab. I'm talking to you, India. It's not that you need to know. I am telling you. Just being clear.
Akhil Channan asks, when is your anniversary, Cyrus? Can we see another episode with your wife?
Akhil, I'll just check. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, so our anniversary is on Jan 3rd. She decided everything. It was a blur for me. Sounds cliche, but it's true. I think we will be 24 years in 2025 Jan 3rd. So yeah, so I remember because my 25th, if I survive it, will be in 2026. And then we'll have to celebrate it apparently by convention. So I'm thinking if Bade Maya is open in Kolaba, I'll take her for a role.
But you guys married in South Bombay only.
Okay, Prithvi's question, I don't know if you picked it up, is asking me, did we get married in South Bombay only? This is almost derision in his voice.
There was no destination
Sir,
wedding.
आपका कहने का क्या मतलब है? Obviously, if I live in South Bombay, why will I get married in Ville Parle?
No destination wedding.
Oh, one second. Have you worked in IVM? You know our budgets.
That time you were rich, no?
Destination wedding means Rishi has to give me his house in Panvel. Okay? Achha, you were saying that time I was rich. Now I'm fallen. Yeah, bakwas. Yeah, how mean.
MTV.
Sir, आपके पैसा तो था ना? He thinks I'm Congress. एक ज़माना में बहुत पैसा था.
Cheese Champ asks, who was your childhood celebrity crush? And don't worry, we won't judge you, even if it was a cartoon.
Rekha, I loved. Rekha had that one of those. I don't know. There's some beautiful women who, from every angle, look nice. Like you don't have to worry about what they're wearing. Some women, they need to, there's lighting and there's the look and the outfit and the pouting and all that starts, right? But there's some women who are just like God just given them beauty.
So top three performances which made you.
Umrao Jan, obviously, but all the pictures she's done with Amitabh, okay, where the roles are not spectacular, but she's just fantastic to look at. Zeenat Aman and Parveen Babi, I love them. These three women. Maybe I'm an oldie. Cricket also, I like my Gavaskars and Vishwanaths and all that. I'm an oldie and like the old times, but God, they were pretty. And they were real women, bro. Sorry about your wokeness and all that, but they were, they were like, their bodies were like womanly bodies. At some point, I don't know what happened, and the women bodies started becoming more like, teenage boys. Really thin, and whatever floats your boat. But I'm like, I miss the Zeenats and the Parveens and the Rekhas, and I don't know what happened to the world. I wasn't looking, they changed.
Naughty Natarajan asks, if you had to answer this question, would you rather have sex in front of your parents or watch your parents having sex in front of you? It's a hypothetical, would you 18 plus question, I guess.
That's a good question, but my answer depends on who am I having sex with. It depends on that. So if they'll be proud of who I'm having sex with, then I'll perform in front of my parents. If they will disapprove, शायद कौन से है? उम्र क्या है? Divorced है? All that, I have to think about all these things over answer. But I think see what you did, my parents dropped something. They heard the question. Sorry, mom.
Naveen asks, is it a cosmic joke or a brilliant planning that men's mental health awareness month and LGBTQ plus pride both are in June? Because it seems like universe wants to make sure everyone gets a chance to open about
No,
their
I think
feelings.
the authorities in India are a little different. We keep it in June because it can get washed out. So anything you want to do, put it in June. Authorities are June में permission मिलेगा. कर लो march जो भी करने का. Do your protest, do your awareness, everything, and it gets washed out. Especially if you take it outdoors. But yeah, it is interesting. Jisko Jaisa philosophy, which is very Indian, I think is very important, and woke comes from Jisko Jaisa philosophy, literally. My only worry is that Jisko Jaisa philosophy has a line where you don't tell everybody what to do, because that's the essence of Jisko Jaisa. So, Jisko Jaisa, do what you want, be who you want, and all that, but just don't tell me what I have to do about you. Just, we are separate people. It's important that you don't, that space, that border is not crossed. That's the only question.
But have you ever been to a therapist?
Have I been to a therapist, Prithvi? Oh, you have a mic. We had so on this show called Loveline in MTV by the way, not Channel V. We had this lady called Dr. Anjali. I won't give her full name. And she was very nice. And she would, because we were dealing with people writing, we started getting blood letters in blood, people with depression, suicide, those kinds. And we realized that my flippant answers and all a little dangerous. So we had to have a professional. And she would deal in a more, mature, sophisticated manner. They never give solutions, but they talk nicely, and then they always offer their services privately, so the person can take it further. So I used to talk to her waiting for the show, waiting for the girls to change into their outfits and all. We have lots of time between shows. So she diagnosed me as a extreme personality syndrome. So I'm very grateful to her. Because I stopped drinking because of her, because she explained to me the great thing about extreme personality is you can do either ends of everything. Okay, you can be the worst behaved guy in the room, you can be the best behaved also. You just can't be a moderate person, so don't try. So I gave up alcohol one day and I became a beautiful human being. Today, wherever I go, kids throw flowers. Aa gaya. It's beautiful, the treatment I get. So if you are extreme personality, and there are quite a few people who are, or some sort of extreme personality, not to be extreme, but somewhere close to the extreme, try and go to the side which is more, let's say, conventional and not the mad, reckless side. Because that's where the dangers come from. And then you start doing rap music and, writing lyrics which are obscene, and I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out parda ke piche kya hai. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, Brocha Janata Party is waiting for your reaction on election results. Do you think we had a fair election this time?
I'm very happy. I think democracy has done very well at the end of it. We want a stable government. That's very important. We got it. It's stable now. Let's see, 2-3 weeks down the line. And we have an opposition. So it's not a complete monopoly. You have to have an opposition. How is democracy going to function? That's how me and my wife function. We have 50% equal partners. We began 50%. Now it's 80-20 and might get to 90-10, whatever she decides. But the point is, I think it's from a democratic point of view, possibly the most democratic result out of all the big countries of the world. Let's see, America's under pressure now. Let's see what happens there. That's a little more interesting than ours.
And what about the elections happening in October now coming?
So Maharashtra state elections are going to be more fun for me. At the moment, I think if you do the right, because India changes every day. If we do the elections right now, I think Uddhav will win in a canter. That seems to be the writing on the wall. But again, between now and October, वो metro बनाने का, coastal road complete करने का, ये वो, बारिश में क्या हुआ, डूब जाएगी या नहीं, we have to see all that. So let's wait. For example, Ayodhya was very interesting. How did he, the way the BJP with pomp and splendor brought up the mandir, and there was so much support, and all the great people went there, etc. Hotels, airports, everything came up. So culture, commerce supposedly came up. Now, why did they lose? Why did their candidate lose in Ayodhya, which is amazing? So India is a little unpredictable. Again,
I saw one of the things like people who were actually residing there, who had their ancestral properties and all, they had to go off because of
that's what you're not understanding. That we are seeing as outsiders, and you're thinking Ram Mandir, this and the other. But the guy living there, not so happy with all the attention. The fact that their area has been attacked, destroyed, if you like, they've been pushed aside, etc. So the other intricacies we don't know, the ground reality of what happened there. But it's amazing. You would think that Ayodhya would be a canter, don't even turn up. Whoever's BJP candidate, he shouldn't even go and canvass. He just has to say, "Ye mera Mr. Sharma, mera naam hai, abhi likho." Technically, it should have been an innings defeat, but it's the opposite. So again, with Maharashtra, whoever thinks that Uddhav is winning or Shinde's group is winning, it's not clear cut. The Parsi Sena might still form the government come October. Sir, are you for it? I'm telling you, lots of Hindus are going to vote for Parsi Sena if I put up a candidate. Let me tell you, they've had enough.
Next question. Geeky Roy asks, being almost for 15 plus years in media industry, what is the advice you would love to give young kids thinking to enter media in general?
The worst thing to do as you age is give advice. Because as you age, like Socrates, you know nothing. So the worst thing to do, honestly, when somebody asks, I feel the pressure of answering this question because they think you've achieved more than you have, or they just can't find anybody else. These are the two reasons they ask you the question. But please, just listen to yourself. Don't listen to me. What am I going to tell you? The media in the 80s was different, 90s was different. In the last few years, it's changing in months now. Right now, Twitter's allowing porn. I mean, I don't even know what's happening. It's just every day there's a change. So, God, you got to talk to visionaries. I'm not a visionary. I'm just a struggling actor, dancer, singer, puppeteer, available for weekends at special rates.
Next question. Mr. Fintech asks, what would you name your own...
Mr. Fintech?
Yeah. What would you name your own cryptocurrency? And is it fair to introduce 30% tax on a decentralized currency?
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair decentralized currency or not. The tax seems disproportionate. It's almost like we're stopping stopping initiative and enterprise and saying like, we don't like what you're doing. So it's wrong. It's too high. I don't know what is the right figure, but that's too high.
What would you name your cryptocurrency?
My cryptocurrency, I would name after my beautiful wife, Aisha, whose middle name is Priya. So I would call it Priya. Because Aisha, I feel is a name that's known, that my wife's name is known, so they'll say, it's like your own personal thing and all. But if I say Priya, it's a subtle thing, but it's still honoring my wife. Besides, if they put 30% tax, it reminds me of my wife anyway. Right, Abhi sir?
Last question.
My wife joke bana tha na, to bahut khush ho jate hai. Why is this anti-wife joke brigade? Everyone who's married a few years, they like the wife jokes. Everyone who's not married is like, why? Aisa baat kyun karta hai? It's just very odd. You're married, bro? No. You look to get married? I'm talking to Tata, our engineer, now that Rishi's not there. In the coming future, is there a chance?
He makes love to trees.
Wow. Oof.
Last question. Quirky Dokla asks, which fictional villain do you have the most compassion for?
In Hindi films, I think Gabbar Singh is difficult to beat. Kulbhushan's character in Shan. There are a few, all the McMahon characters. He was the junior villain mostly, he never played the main villain. In Hollywood, what is that? In Die Hard, I can't remember the character's name, but he's got this German accent. I like that guy a lot. I wanted him to win. I don't know if you've seen Die Hard. Bruce Willis. You know the character's name is really tough. But he's got the German accent and goatee and whatever. It's interesting. Yeah. In Rocky, that Ivan Drago, or whatever his name is, the one he fights in Rocky 3. Yeah, the tall guy. What's his name? Mohawk is Mr. T. That's Rocky 3. This is Rocky 4 then. Huh?
Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. I've just been corrected. Because there's so many Rockies, they're like the Shiv Senas. After some time you lose, I can't remember, Ye isme kaun hai, isme kaun hai. It's exactly the same as far as I'm concerned. Please change political party names when you leave. Don't keep the same name. You're just confusing people. And people like say, I don't want to say my mom, but people who are not so interested in politics, they just don't know what to do then. We have to take them to vote, to hold their hand, and we're not allowed to go into the booth with them. There are a lot of people who don't know. Change the name.
Yeah, and just my question to you. Yeah. I read on your Wikipedia you've done theatre in New York. So
I went to the Lee Strasberg. So they have how to explain it? So they do the method and all that when there are 4 or 5 famous studios. So there's the Lee Strasberg studio is one of the famous, Stella Adler studio, Lee Strasberg. There are 3, 4. This is the one where Marlon Brando and Al Pacino, lots of famous names come from. So I went there and I did the short course, which is 3 to 4 months, and then there's a long course, which is 9 months. That's too expensive. So I did that, yeah. As you can see, it was worth it.
Any chances we can see you again back in theatre?
Bro, but I have to get work now. Someone has to offer you, theatre I don't want to do right now. I can't, too much work and I'm not getting paid. I don't have time to do that. I'm not Nasir. Nasir has enough money. Yeah, you either do it in the beginning of your career or do it when you have things going for you. So you don't do, because all your evenings go, weekends go. It becomes a little difficult. It's a proper commitment. It's like having an ugly girlfriend. So you're cheating on your wife and then you feel terrible. The light comes on, you're like, what am I doing? It's like that.
That's it.
In time. If IVM and me make enough money this year, then maybe. It all depends on the markets.
Let's close, no? Do a closing.
Oh, Prithvi just asked me to close. He didn't like the fact that we ended abruptly. Abhay sir has started having a breakdown of bronchitis. So whether I close or not, he's left. It's amazing. How in India we finish a show and the audience starts walking out the moment they feel that it's ending. Nobody waits for the actual ending. You try your formal ending. Thank you for... There's nobody there. It's like, guys, we had a great show and everybody's left. Gone. People are stretching and they're turning their back to you and you're still saying the goodbye notes. It's unnecessary, yeah. Anyway, we'll see you on the AMAs. Please ask good questions. By good questions, I mean questions we can't answer. See you.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by actor Apar Shakti Khurana, who opens up about his life in Bollywood, his hilarious childhood adventures, his love for cricket, and tasting success with movies like Dangal and Saath Uchakke. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam Gupta sits down with Anish Bhasin, co-founder of Swami Drinks, to uncover the secrets behind the tonic water business and the D2C model. Folks, if you like our shows, spread the word. Tell your friends and don't forget to rate and review them wherever you're listening to them. Follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. You'll also find all our shows on youtube.com/IVM Podcasts. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week: Omidyar Network India, IDFC First Bank, and ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. Thank you for making this possible.